What is going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about some of these Sword and Shield sets and ancillary products because over the past week, I've been getting asked a lot on the channel in comments, in my DMs, emails, about people inquiring whether they should or should not buy ancillary products for some of these Sword and Shield alternate art sets because they probably don't have enough money to buy the booster boxes, or maybe, and this is probably the more likely reason for most people, they fall into a misconception that I fell into as well when I first started Pokemon investing. And that is that if you take the ratio of a price per pack in a booster box and compare it to just a regular loose pack or any ancillary product and you break it down by the packs inside, if the loose pack or ancillary product pack price is less than that of a booster box, then somehow those packs are undervalued and you should buy them. And that's simply just not the case. A booster box, the price per pack in a booster box is always going to be at a premium because it is the number one sealed product for investors and collectors. And when you look at a healthy range of a loose pack price to a booster box price per pack, you should have a ratio somewhere between 0.7 and 0.8 normally. Sometimes it'll go up to like 0.85 in rare instances. And again, it really depends the cost of a certain booster box because over time, this kind of gets inflated and doesn't really work perfectly for these more expensive booster boxes. But right now, for most boxes under $1,000, this works out pretty well. So I'll give you an example, right? Right now on TCG Player, Chilling Reign booster boxes are $379.23, which is probably a little bit below market right now. But when you divide that number by 36, you get $10.53. That would essentially be your price per pack inside a booster box of Chilling Reign. Now, a loose pack is $7.48. So when you take the ratio of the loose pack compared to the price per pack in a booster box, you get a ratio of 0.71. And this might be a little bit on the low end, but it's still in a healthy range. And I'd say when it is in a healthy range like this, there really isn't a lot of opportunity buying ancillary products or buying loose packs of a certain product. But when you start to get lower than that, that's potentially when opportunity rises. And I personally would say below a 0.6 ratio, and especially below like a 0.5 ratio. If it's below 0.5, it's kind of just an obvious buy, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So Brilliant Stars, here's another example, right? Currently on TCG Player, a booster box is $389.99. A loose pack is $7.14. But when we take $389.99 divided by 36, you get $10.83. Then $7.14 is a loose pack, so 0.66 ratio. These, I would say, Brilliant Stars right now, based on TCG Player pricing, there really isn't a ton of opportunity. But if we manipulate the numbers here in a second, you'll see maybe there might be some opportunity in some of these sets. So Lost Origin, same deal, $448.97 on TCG Player right now. That's $12.47 per pack. A loose pack is $8.15. That's a 0.65 ratio. Now there are a couple in bold here, Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. These are probably going to be where your better opportunities are. And again, I'm not saying you should go invest in loose packs and ancillary products. I think for the most part, you want to invest in your booster boxes, your ETBs, maybe booster bundles, and a couple other products outside of that, unless you have a way to offload them. If you are a store, if you are a rip and ship or whatever, these are the times where you'd probably want to be loading up on some of these packs, because normally we see this ratio start to stabilize in the coming months after we see a spike or a leg up in the sealed booster boxes. So Evolving Skies, we'll do this one first. On TCG Player right now, this booster box is $1563.03. A loose pack is $23.31. When you do the ratio there, you get to a 0.54 ratio. That's pretty low. I would say that's a decent price to buy loose packs, ancillary products like your build-in battle kits and stuff like that. You'll probably see some decent short-term gains. And again, if you have a way to offload those packs, like if you're running a rip and ship, if loose packs sell well for you in your store, this is probably going to be a decent time to buy some Evolving Skies. Same deal with Fusion Strike. $656.02 on TCG Player currently. That's definitely a little bit below market. And then loose packs, $9.57. So again, when you do the ratio, price per pack in a booster box would be $18.22. Loose pack, $9.57. That's a 0.53 ratio. That again is very low. You should consider buying some Evolving Skies or Fusion Strike loose packs or ancillary products if you have a way to offload them. Now, TCG Player graphs are normally a bit behind, right? So I'd say Chilling Reign, I don't think we're ever going to see this in the 380 range again. I think this is going to stabilize over $400. Same thing with Fusion Strike. I don't think we're going to see it in that 650 range again. Maybe we will, but I would not be surprised if we see this settle over $700. So what happens if we take the 3 most recent sales on TCG Player to get a better average and see if it's slightly elevated? And that's kind of the case for a lot of these, especially Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. Chilling Reign right now, though, the 3 most recent sales, if you get an average of those, it's $418.66. That would give you an $11.63 booster box price per pack. A loose pack still $7.48. That gives you a 0.64 ratio. So still really not a lot of opportunity there with Chilling Reign. So I would not be buying ancillary products of Chilling Reign, even at these current prices, not just the TCG Player graph, but considering where these boxes are going to go and where that graph is going to settle in a week or two, I still wouldn't be buying these. Next up, we'll go to Lost Origin 476.66. That's the average of the 3 most recent sales. I believe a couple of them were right around $500 and one was like $420 or something. So this might even be a little bit higher, which might affect your decision, but that's still $13.24 price per pack in a booster box. A loose pack is $8.15 still. That's a 0.62 ratio. I still would not be buying loose ancillary stuff for Lost Origin. Again, there's still a decent amount of it out there. People need to remember Lost Origin was still readily available for most of 2023 and even 2024. Brilliant Stars, next up, 3 most recent sales on average comes out to $434.99. That's $12.08 price per pack in a booster box, $7.14 loose. That's a 0.59 ratio. So it's under 0.6. This is where you could start considering Brilliant Stars maybe a little bit. But again, I think there's better options on this list, which are, of course, your Evolving Skies and your Fusion. The 3 most recent sales of Evolving Skies, I believe there's one sale for $1,900 on TCG Player. If we can go double check that from today. Yeah, $1,900 and then $1,850 today as well. 2 fairly high sales today, bringing this average up maybe slightly higher than what it should be. But that's a $48.61 price per pack in a booster box. Loose pack $23.31. 0.48 ratio, below a 50% ratio from loose pack to booster box price per pack. These are buys in my mind. If you have a way to offload them, you feel like you can move loose packs in the future. It's not going to be something that's going to be difficult for you. And again, like remember that is important to consider. It's not just how much you can make in the short term, what the percentage gain looks like. You have to factor in your time, how easy it's going to be to sell them, the liquidity of certain products. All of that has to come into consideration for you when you're making an investment decision. But if you have a way to do it, 0.48, that's a great ratio. I would be considering Evolving Skies right now, loose stuff or build and battle kits, whatever, 2-pack blisters, 3-pack blisters, whatever way you can figure it out. Considering if you can find this number right here, $23.31 price per pack, around that range, you're doing well, and especially under it. Like if you can find packs for $20, great. And then finally, we have Fusion Strike, $782.95 based on the 3 most recent sales. I believe there was a sale as well over $800, $811, $89, $796, $742. There you go. That comes out to $21.75 price per pack in a booster box. A loose pack $957. That's a 0.44 ratio. That is very low. If you can find loose packs of Fusion Strike at around $9.50, even less than that, I mean, it's going to be a pretty decent buy in the short term, like 6 to 12 months, something like that, especially if you have a way to offload them. Remember, and I'm beating a dead horse by saying that like 10 times in this video, but I need you to understand that if you are going to do this, you're going to buy ancillary products. They move slower than booster boxes, ETBs, stuff like that. So if you do not have a way to move them and sell them, or you don't have a connection to someone who knows how to do that, probably best to avoid buying these. I also had someone ask me about the Charizard UPC. And my opinion on these, and I maybe should just make another video to talk about this because this video is already going on way too long. I'm not really a fan of buying these UPCs at these higher prices, I guess you could say, in the $200-$300 range, the 151 UPC. Obviously the Celebrations UPC, this stayed in that like $300 to $400 range for a very long time. And even since November, it hasn't seen insane growth. So once these boxes are a little bit older, maybe they're over $100, $150, I just don't get very excited by them. I think the growth slows down a lot on these types of products, and your money is probably going to be better spent putting it into newer booster boxes or better opportunities in the Pokemon sphere. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. This is just my opinion. If you guys are in the spreadsheet, be on the lookout for some updates coming this week. I think we're doing the Altarts on Monday. Then we're gonna have booster boxes Wednesday, and then Friday we'll do regular ETBs and also PC ETBs. Also shout out to Hamza and Eric. I know you guys are watching the videos, you don't really comment often, but the consult calls actually went well this week. I was very excited to do that. So if you guys are interested in doing a consult with me, whether you're looking to start investing heavily into Pokemon or One Piece, or you want to start up a YouTube channel or something, whatever your ultimate goal is, I'm sure I can help you out with that. Also, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I think my audience is like 98% male, but if there are a few of you guys watching, thank you for what you do for your children. If you guys are lucky enough to still have your mother around, make sure that you hug her today if you can, call her if not. Life is so precious. We need to spend as much time with her family as we can and really focus in on what matters in life. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.